I've got good news for all you sane, regular human beings. Louis C.K. has put out a new comedy special for those who need to laugh amid the pandemic and the quarantine. We're all locked in our houses, so it'll be fun to watch a comedian say silly things. Of course, the feminists are very angry, saying that, he's exploiting the pandemic for a special and he should go away and all this stuff. And it's just like, man, Louis C.K.'s story, yeah, he did inappropriate things. I don't know. What I can tell you is the dude started doing events and he was like selling out. People like the guy. He's funny. He's always been crude. He's always been crass. But ever since those stories came out about his inappropriate behavior, we've seen people try to highlight things he said as though he's problematic or whatever. Whatever. That's what they do. They call him problematic. First, let's actually just read about what's going on with this Louis C.K. special. Deadline says he dropped a surprise comedy special for those who need to laugh. To the surprise of his fans and detractors, he dropped a new comedy special Saturday on his official website. The comedian said he released a stand-up special titled Sincerely CK for those who need to laugh. It's available for download and stream for $7.99. In a press announcement, the Louis star and creator indirectly referenced the coronavirus outbreak and said laughter helps when things get bad or when people are facing difficult times. I feel like there are two kinds of people in this world, he said. One kind needs to laugh when things are getting essy. In fact, he said, the worse things get, the more serious, the more dark, and the more terrifying, the more dangerous and dire anything is, the more important it is to laugh in the midst of it and directly in its face. He continued, these people believe it's no coincidence that human beings have survived despite our fragile, hairless bodies through the most difficult of times, and that we are the only species besides ladybugs who laugh at life. The controversial comedian has essentially been out of the spotlight since 2017, when misconduct allegations against him began to surface. Well, here we go. From the Mary Sue, angry feminists yell at Louis C.K. And look how they title this. Louis C.K. whips out a new comedy special nobody wants to see. Nobody. The dude was doing shows and people were showing up. They were even leaking his sets. People want to see this. I'm willing to bet he makes a pretty penny because, yeah, people are bored and they're going to want to watch Louis C.K. because there was a reason why he was a famous comedian. He's funny. The comedian has continued touring since he publicly admitted to sexual misconduct. The Mary Sue says, here's something we don't want to see. Louis C.K. has released a brand new comedy special titled Sincerely Louis C.K. available for purchase on his website. Thanks for advertising it to everybody who apparently doesn't want to see it. This is what I don't get. They really do want to see it. You know what they want to do? They want to watch it and they want fuel to go so they can go on the internet and complain about how much they're victims. They want to say that Louis C.K. did a comedy special and made a naughty joke and that's violence and now I'm physically in pain. They love it. It's fuel for the fire. Why wouldn't they be happy? That's why they're telling you where you can find it instead of just criticizing it. They go on to say, CK released a statement, which we read. He followed, these people believe, yeah, we read that. CK admitted to sexual misconduct in 2017 after years of rumors. CK's behavior was an open secret among women in comedy and the entertainment business. But like many predators, the story about him, it absolutely was inappropriate. There were some really creepy things he was doing, like he'd be on the phone with a woman. And this is what I read, because I could be wrong. He'd be on the phone with a woman, and then she'd hear him like panting and huffing because he was doing some personal business that he should not have been doing. But there were other stories where he asked permission. So a lot of these things were taken over the top and were just kind of, kink shaming, I guess. But the dude definitely did inappropriate things. Whether or not that means his life should be completely destroyed and he should never work again, I don't know. It's not up to me to decide. If the dude puts out a product and people buy it, then the dude is going to be able to sell stuff. What do you want? What do you expect? She said, they're going to write. After years of rumors, his behavior was an open secret among women in comedy and the entertainment business. But like many predators, he was protected by his power and influence until the Me Too movement exposed him. Sure. It also exposed people like Aziz Ansari, who had a bad date. Or that guy from, there was another guy on, what was he, on A&E or something? He did a talk show. Was it Soup or something? I don't remember. Chris Hardwick, was that who it was? I'm forgetting. But a bunch of people, innocent people got accused, lost their jobs, were investigated and found to be innocent and came back. There was also that list that went around of like the awful people in media. It was the, they swear in the title. I can't swear on YouTube because YouTube will, de-rank you. They don't like swear words. Anyway, there was that list that went around and a bunch of innocent people got smeared and accused in the Me Too movement. So while I can respect, horrible people like, Harvey Weinstein gets, put in jail. Yeah, there were innocent people. And Louis C.K. was Not the worst, but they were certainly more innocent people. They write, while CK lost money when the truth came out, FX canceled his television deal and his film, I Love You Daddy, was shelved, the comedian issued an apology and promised to take a step back and take a long time to listen. Less than a year later, however, CK was back to touring, but his comedy had changed. No, it didn't. That's a lie. After a career built making fun of himself and his foibles, CK's long celebrated honesty was spun outward. He's always been shocking and offensive. Always. People are trying to claim that he changed. Well, I mean, for one, he started making jokes about his circumstances, but that's normal. That's what people do. And what else is he supposed to do? But his shock comedy was always what it is. They go on to say, instead of addressing his issues or his fall from grace, the comedian began mocking the survivors of the Parkland school shooting. CK also mocked trans and non-binary people, earning him new fans from the far right. That is a lie. Seriously, go look at his comedy. It was always offensive. So he also forbade cell phones at his shows, so none of his new material would leak. Tons of comedians do this. What they've done so far is they're misrepresenting who he is and what he's done. I'm not surprised. Louis C.K. is a name that frequently comes up when we discuss cancel culture. While the comedian lost money and was publicly shamed for his gross behavior, C.K. has hardly been canceled. He is, oh, come on, dude. He lost a movie and a TV show. He is touring internationally and releasing comedy specials. He is still a very wealthy comedian and a household name. Yep, because guess what? You lost. People like him. They find him funny. You're lying. Fans argue that he served his time, but CK has done nothing to earn the redemption he expects. Aside from his public apology after years of denial, there have been no attempts to learn, no donations to women's rights groups, and no recognition or pressing of his behavior. Aw, poor babies. Did he have to give you money and he didn't? That's called grifting. You're a grifter. He doesn't give anybody money, but he certainly lost money. That's good enough. They say, for someone who was known for bearing their soul on stage, CK has refused to address his misconduct in his act. That's not true at all. He's made jokes about it. You know, the only thing they can really do is lie. I'm not saying you have to like Louis C.K. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying he deserves anything. But tell the truth and be honest. The reality is, no matter what you throw at him, no matter what you expect of him, there are people who like him and find him funny and just don't care what you have to say. So he launched the comedy special on his own website. If you want to watch it, you'll watch it. It's $8. Guess what? I bet he'll make a ton of money off this. His fans don't care what you think. And they think, yeah, maybe he served his time. Many took to Twitter to respond to CK's new special. And here we go with the lefty blue checks who are going to be angry at a comedian for making offensive comedy. Here's one. Louis C.K. releasing a special when no one can leave the room feels pretty on brand, to be honest. Yep. And you don't have to watch it. It's on his website. What's the joke? Elizabeth says, everyone is trapped in a room, terrified and exhausted. There's never been a more appropriate time for Louis C.K. to release a comedy special. Is that a compliment? I feel like that's a compliment. This person says, checks Twitter. Sees Louis C.K., Steve Bannon, Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, and Sean King all trending. And then they show the meme where Abe Simpson walks in the burlesque house and then turns on and walks away. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Things in the world happen and people exist. So what? You know, I feel like these people have never gone outside. And like, look, you go outside, guess what? Sometimes a bird will poop on you. Do you cry about it? Do you curl up in a ball and become disabled? No, you wipe it off, you grumble, you go home, change your clothes, and you be upset about it, but you move on. So what that Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, and Bannon are trending? Pronoun Guy says, oh my God, Louis C.K. is using the pandemic to promote his new special. You cannot go any lower. Aw, poor babies. You can't go any lower? Yes, you can. You can gloat about the pandemic and cheer for it. There are many tiers below comedian releases comedy special. Here's the best part. They write, if you're looking for a comedy special with a non-problematic comedian, I highly recommend Fortune Feminists' Sweet and Salty, which is available on Netflix now. And they play they have the trailer for this comedy special from Fortune Feimster, Sweet and Salty. I got no beef. I actually would just give a shout out and say, yeah, by all means, go on Netflix and watch this as a comedian. I'm not sure who Fortune Feimster is. I didn't particularly like the trailer all that much, but I mean that in no disrespectful way. Not everybody's into every kind of comedy. And yeah, You don't have to watch Louis C.K. I'm not going to sit here and cry and complain that there's a, feminist comedy special. I'm going to say, hey, man, if that's your thing, by all means, go for it. I get it. Fortune Feimster isn't Louis C.K. and didn't, self-gratify while on the phone with women. There's real reasons to criticize Louis. The point is, look, man, if you don't like his comedy, that's fine. If you don't like her comedy, that's fine. You watch what you want to watch. Everybody, why don't you calm down? But I think it's fair. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to point out a couple things. You know what I think? This is just them looking for something to write about, to be angry about. And to a certain degree, I do the same thing every day. This is a silly, stupid game we're all playing. Does anyone really care that Louis C.K. came out with this? Do they really care? No. I do think that at least there's a little bit more, honesty on my side that I think it's absurd they're even writing about it. But I also do kind of feel stupid even talking about them pretending to be angry about it. I really don't think they're angry about it. I think they're just looking for something to pretend to be angry about. That's the point. They'll probably go watch it, and then they'll write a whole bunch of articles about what they're pretending to be angry about because they didn't complain about him in the past. They only complain about him now. So whatever. I'm not going to keep rambling. I'll leave it there. I got one more segment coming up for you in a few minutes. I will see you all shortly.